everyone, so this will be the video that's going over the chapter 7 multiple choice questions, and this is the part 2. Part 1 has the video of the free response questions. So question 1 says, one problem with consumer interviews is that the sample may not be a representative sample. That's true. Response bias, also true. Interviews allow for rapid turnaround. In general, researchers would prefer that, but that's not generally true. So both A and B. Question 2 says the estimated demand for a good is given by Q hat equals this, where Q is the quantity demanded of the good and everything else. If income decreases by 10,000, by 1,000, all else constant, quantity demanded will. So we are going to plug 1,000 in for M, and since it's decreasing, it's going to be a negative 1,000, which means we are going to have Q hat equals 25 minus 5p plus 0.32 M. And we're going to plug in negative 1,000. So it's going to be negative 320. So it is going to decrease by 320 units. Make sure if it says decreases that you're putting a negative in front of your number before you substitute it in. The estimated demand for a good is given. And then we have our equation. So this number right here, just so everyone's on the same page, is used for own price. This is used for income. And this is used for cross. So the good is an inferior good since the coefficient of PR is negative. If it's an inferior, we don't care about the coefficient in front of PR. It would need to be in front of M. So same thing with this. It would need to be in front of M in order for you to make a assumption about inferior or normality. So not A, not B. A normal good since the coefficient on M is greater than 1. Well, that's not even a true statement since 0.65 is less than 1. But also not how we judge. And then D says an inferior good since the coefficient on M is negative. This is true. If the coefficient in front of M is negative, it's inferior. If it's positive, then it is normal. So our answer for question 3 is D. Next one says this good and good are R. So we are looking at this number. If it's negative, then they are complements. If it's positive, then they are substitutes. And since we're caring about the relationship, we don't care about the coefficient in front of m. We care about the coefficient in front of our PR. And since it's negative, we know that they are complements, so our answer is C. Next one says for a linear demand function, the income elasticity. The income elasticity is partial Q partial M times M over Q, which is just this letter in front of your M coefficient, your M variable, sorry, the coefficient in front of M. So it's just going to be C times M over Q, which makes our answer B. For a nonlinear demand function of the form Q equals A P to the B M to the C PR to D, the estimated cross price elasticity of demand is D, because that's the exponent for our opposite price. And when it's nonlinear, you're just pulling the exponents. You don't have to do any of the other math. Next one is we are told that it's non-linear, so we are just substituting in. So we know that we are filling in the blanks of a demand function that looks like this. So when we substitute in, we're going to have 4p to the negative 0.8 m to the 0.750828 PR to the 0.6. So our price elasticity of demand is going to come from looking at the exponent of our price, which is right here. So our price elasticity is going to be negative 0.00. You take the absolute value of that, and we get positive, which is less than 1. So it's inelastic, which makes our answer E. Seasonal or cyclical variation in a time series model is regular in nature and can be accounted for by dummy variables. This is true. Can decrease the accuracy if not accounted for by dummy variables. Also true. It does not exhibit irregular variation, so it's not C. So our answer is D, both A and B. Question 9 gives us all of our information. And we know that this is the equation that we're substituting in. QT equals A plus BT plus CD. So pulling our numbers from our regression, we're going to have 22.51 plus 1.86T plus 2D. At the 1% level of significance, is there a statistically significant trend in sales? Our trend in sales is represented by T. So we are looking at this 0.0016, which is less than 0.01. So yes, there is a statistically significant trend because A. And just for the sake of time, we're going to copy that so we can just paste it on the next couple slides that use the same equation. So 10 says the estimates indicate that the second quarter change in sales if we read, we see that variable D is a dummy variable for the second quarter. So right here. So in the second quarter, it's going to be 2 times 1. So it will always be 2 units higher in the second quarter than in any other quarter. So our answer is C. Because only in the second quarter will you get to add that 2. Question 11. Says what is the estimated intercept of the trend line in the second quarter? So if we are going to have the second quarter, that means that this is going to be 2 times 1. And everything else is going to stay the same. Which means we can add this and this term together and get 24.5. Not even sure where that little 1 came from. So this is going to be our intercept, and then if we were to have more information, we could keep going and substitute in for a specific point, but our intercept will be 24.5. So using the estimated trend line above, what is the predicted value of sales in 2020 quarter 4? So this is going to tell us that our D is going to be equal to 0, so this is not going to be relevant. And we also know that 2020 quarter 3 was T equals 43, which means 2020 quarter 4 is going to be 44. So we can substitute that in. So Q44 is 22.5 plus 1.86 times 44, which gives us 104.34. Or C. And then our last one gives us our equation, and this time we have 3 different dummies. So our equation is going to be PT equals A plus BT plus C D1 plus C2 D2 plus C3 D3. It's going to be 24 plus 0.800 T plus, minus 8 D1 minus 6d2 minus 4d3. So the estimated quarterly increase in price, that means we're just going to look at how it's changing each quarter, regardless of which quarter it is, which is represented by this. So it's going to go up by 80 cents. The annual increase in price is how much it's going up over 4 quarters. So it's going to be 0.8 times 4, which is 320. If you have any questions, please email me and ask. And I will hopefully be able to answer them, or we can set up a time to meet. Have a good week.